believe Ms. Adelson was consulting with independent counsel on that matter. Has she had sufficient time to do so?
Judge, I think I'll let independent counsel, Mr. Commissar, speak to that.
Mr. Commissar?
Yes, Your Honor. May it please the court, just for your awareness, I've been involved in this since yesterday. She has had a chance.
Welcome.
She has had a chance to speak with me. She's in a position where she would not like to lose Mr. Rashbaum. She's willing to make any waivers that are necessary. She's not seeking a continuance, and she's fine with currently unprepared counsel conducting the cross-examination of Mr. Adelson should he be called.
Well, let's go ahead and finish the colloquy that we started earlier concerning the waivers. Ms. Adelson, if you can stand once again, you have already been sworn. Now that you've had the opportunity to discuss with Mr. Commissar the issues that are related to the conflict of Mr. Rashbaum and also any issues as it would relate to proceeding forward under these circumstances, are you in fact waiving any conflicts regarding Mr. Rashbaum?
Yes, sir.
Do you also waive any issue on a future appeal regarding the issue of your son's cross-examination, as it pertains both to the preparation of any counsel who would perform that cross-examination or the fact that it may not be adequate representation?
Yes.
You may be seated. Does the state have anything to raise concerning this matter at this point?
Just that the state is in agreement with proceeding as outlined by defense counsel. In the limited research I was able to do on the issue, it seems like a lot of the times when it goes the other way and the court in its discretion decides to boot the counsel of record for conflict, the state is seeking that. So I just want to put on the record that we are not seeking for Your Honor to do that in this situation.
To dismiss Mr. Rashbaum?
Correct.
Very well. I'm going to perform my additional research before we continue this afternoon concerning whether or not this waiver is sufficient. The defendant has made it. She has made it voluntarily. At the same time, whether it is sufficient to survive any review, that is really where my mindset is at this point. Unless any other party has something to raise, we'll be in recess and get started again at 1:30.
Judge, as Ms. Niles, in speaking with her during the break, is she and Mr. Upperman are meeting with Mr. Adelson, because the question has arisen as to whether or not there's a conflict as it relates to cross-examination, or if Mr. Adelson were to have a continued objection to his representation, continued representation of Ms. Adelson. I think that there's some thought that that needs to be confirmed from Mr. Adelson first, because if he takes a different position, it would seemingly disqualify Mr. Rashbaum altogether. That's going to be accomplished. I wanted to let the court know that that's in the works.
Good. Also,
as it relates to the waiver, so the court was aware, and there's mention of it in the comments section of the rules regulating the profession, that an oral waiver is acceptable and appropriate with certain conditions that are set forth in the rule.
Is the attorney who obtained the waiver available to speak on this matter?
I don't know the answer off the top of my head, but I'm pretty certain, I say within 99% certainty, we'll facilitate it.
Go ahead.
Does Your Honor need, that's why I'm mentioning this, should I, excuse me, Judge.
Signature was obtained by me, and then the independent waiver did not get a signature, but you could testify as an independent waiver.
Does Your Honor feel like you need to hear from?
So we have a fully developed record? Yes.
Okay, let me make arrangements during the break, and I'll alert chambers as to how quickly we can do that so we don't waste time this afternoon if possible.
Please do.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to have the afternoon jurors report at 2 o'clock, so that way no one's time is wasted while we're going through these matters. Mr. Commissar, you had something else to add?
Yes, Your Honor. Just as we're talking about perfecting a record, I just wanted to note that as the independent counsel, I was given an opportunity by the court to meet with her independently. The bailiffs gave us some privacy here. I was able to meet with her for easily 30 minutes. And I'm not revealing any of our confidences, but this was not a squishy situation. Once I was able to articulate the options and how they can result in delay or the opportunity to prepare, this, I can say, was a strategy decision that is being made by a defendant who does not want to delay their case, but understands that the representation they're going to get from my cross-examination is not what they might get from another lawyer, or definitely not what they're going to get from me with a year of preparation. So it may look odd in a cold record having a lawyer come in this morning and advise somebody to waive such an important right. I was able to articulate the options, but I did not necessarily advise somebody to waive their rights.
Very well. Mr. Morris, do you wish the court to engage in any further colloquy with Ms. Adelson concerning this matter?
Not at this point, Judge.
Very well. Ms. Adelson, I do not want you to respond, but I want you to understand, although you have made an affirmative waiver on these matters, I still have to evaluate whether that waiver is sufficient or whether Mr. Rashbaum needs to be terminated from this matter. I'm going to give this serious consideration. I will do additional research of my own from there. Everyone will have an answer this afternoon. We are in recess until 1:15. Please come back to the courtroom at that time.
Judge, would you be open to both sides submitting case law for your consideration during the recess?
Certainly.
Ready to adjourn?